Hi, I'm Steve Willits, and today I'm going to walk you through our new customer portal. Give you a quick overview of the menus and what you can find here and how to use it. As you can see, I already have the portal up on my screen here. However, you can get to this portal simply by browsing to portal.wti.cc. I'm obviously already logged in, but in your case you'll get prompted to log in, and you'll choose to log in via Microsoft. And just use your same username and password that you use for any other Microsoft product. So the authentication for this is integrated with Microsoft 365, so your Microsoft 365 username and password will get you into this as well. Once you get logged in, you'll come into the home screen here, and what you're seeing here is the version of our customer portal designed for administrators. And administrators are anyone at your organization that's in charge of IT. So whoever our primary contact is, any managers, the owner, anybody else that needs to have a complete overview of everything going on with IT at the organization. There is a user version of this that I'll show you how that separates out. We have a separate video for users that doesn't show all the admin stuff. And your users won't see a lot of the things that you're going to see here. So looking at this screen, we can see up here, this is you. This will be your name when you're logged in here. And any alerts or anything, new things, messages in the apps, we'll show the messages section here in a minute, are listed kind of up here in this top corner area up here. This is our home screen. You can get to it, of course, by clicking on home. And you have some links to do various things. You can create new tickets here for either problems or adding a user or new computers, that sort of thing. You can see all your tickets. You can get Microsoft 365 status, and it gives you a quick summary of some knowledge base articles that are available to you. This is just kind of what you come into with your home screen here. Over here under our company menu, we're going to see some of the same things. We have a directory, and this is going to be a list of all of your employees. This is largely pulled from Microsoft 365. The knowledge base is a screen that basically just shows some pertinent articles. It takes a moment to load these because it's a lot of stuff, but it shows some various articles. It's the same thing that was on your home page that might be useful for you or your users, depending on what kind of products you're using. So the last thing under the company is the messages, and this is where any new messages, you get a welcome message here. Any messages that we were to send out would pop up in there, and you'd see the alerts for them up here. Under the support menu, we have a little bit more information in here. There's a Microsoft 365 status screen. So if you're having problems with Microsoft 365 and you want to know, is it you or is it Microsoft, this is going to tell you. You can see Microsoft is having some issues today. So usually, hopefully these are all green, but Microsoft appears to be having some issues. If you were to click on these, you'd see some more. So it just gives you some info about what's going on in the Microsoft world. The report a problem and request service, these are where you can submit tickets, and these ultimately is where we would like you to submit tickets. You can come in here and you'll notice there's different categories. If you have a computer issue, click on that, and it's going to ask you some questions relevant to whatever your problem is. And that's true whether you do it for files or phones or printer scanners, whatever. It's going to ask you various questions to give us a little more detail. The more detail you can put in here, obviously, the faster we're going to be able to resolve your situation. Better for you and us, and this is really our preferred location on where tickets get created. Your users will have full access to this. They'll be able to create tickets here as well. Again, just makes it easy, prompts you for the information we need from you for these things, and you may see some things get added to this over time if we have other issues that we want to prompt for as well. Requesting a service is very similar to reporting a problem, but these are for, instead of this being a problem on your computer, it's for something new, adding a new user, removing a user. You'll see in these things, there's sometimes some more questions. This is all the information that we would need to gather to set up a new user, and we're going to prompt you for all that right here. So we don't have to go back and forth with phone calls or emails. We can capture this all right here. It's easier for you and it's easier for us, and we can get it all done faster for you. Same thing even on ordering a new computer. We'll ask you some questions about what kind of computer, whether it's a laptop, that sort of thing. And some other things here. Depending on your user level, users won't see, they won't have the order computer option. Only admins will have that. And on most of these, in fact, many of these will only be seen by admins. The report a problem, pretty much all of those are available to your users as well. So you can report a problem, you can request service. You can also see all of your existing tickets. So if you're an admin in this system, you will see all the tickets for everybody in your organization with us. So this will be every ticket that your company has open with us. Your end users will only see the tickets that are relevant to them, that they created and that they're working on. And you can open these tickets and you can actually see all the detail. All the communications we have had will be in here. You can enter more information in here. You can respond to these tickets here, and you can actually work your tickets right out of here and see what's going on. And all of this stuff, anything when you report a problem, all of these things go right into tickets in our system. So it's all integrated, and you're going to get the fastest possible service. So the last section that your users will also be able to see is this university section. So university just has a couple of some training resources. Basically, it has some videos that might be relevant for you. They might not be. They're helpful if you want to do them. Do them. If not, it's okay. But there's basic little training videos about how to do some things in here, a lot of security things, that sort of thing that are all available here. These can actually be assigned to your users, and you can track who's done the training and that sort of thing if you want. But otherwise, you can just click on them right here. Quick starts are just kind of quick documents about how to use various products. These are all Microsoft documents that talk about how to use these things. So these are all just things for user training. Hopefully, the more it's at your users' fingertips, the easier it is for them to get their jobs done and be able to be productive. So these are the sections that your users will see, these first 4 menu items. You as an admin, you have this additional stuff down here. And so we'll start with the infrastructure tab. This is going to show you your various domains under here that are associated with your account. And then under endpoints, you'll see all of the various computers that are on your network. And this ties in with our monitoring system that's there. So you're actually seeing the actual computers here. You can see there's an overview, there's security, there's a performance screen that will show different information about all your computers. So if you want to know what computers you have in our system, well, here you go. Here's your list of all the computers that are in our system. And you can see there's kind of green and red over here. We'll get to this down here in compliance. There's some policies of various best practices that we recommend for computers. And so if they're green, that means everything's fine. If they're red or yellow, that just means there's something there. It may not be that big a deal, but maybe something we want to address. So that's your endpoints. It shows you all your computers. Servers, very similarly. I don't have any in here, but if you have servers, they'd be listed there as well. And you do have a software screen. It can take a moment for this to load because it's actually loading all of the software loaded on all of your computers and giving you a count of how many computers each one of those apps is on. So you can see there's a little status bar going by there. And you can see this lists every piece of software on every computer. And over here it tells you how many computers this is actually loaded on. So just kind of a nice reference if you want to get a feel for what you have out there. We review this on occasion too. So that's kind of your infrastructure. It's really giving you information about your computers and what you have on your system. Usage Microsoft 365 is very similar, except for this is all about Microsoft 365. You can see all of your users right here, and it'll tell you, like you can see whether they have multi-factor authentication turned on. You can get various detail about them, what licenses they're using. And here under our licenses tab, you see it by license, so you can see how many of each type of Microsoft license you have in use, and if you have any available as well here. So just kind of some summary information about your Microsoft licensing. Data and adoption just gives you some detail about how many files each one of these people have, how much space has been used by them. This is all just detail within Microsoft 365 that is showing you for your reference. So that's just some useful information about Microsoft 365. Your security, there's a couple things in here, maybe not quite so critical, but gives you a feel for how many emails you're sending each day. If you saw some really unusual spike in here, that might be something to be concerned about. And then under logins, you can see very summarized information about all the various users and logging in and how it's kind of summarized information from all the security and infrastructure stuff. So now we're getting down into some of the more fancy stuff that the client portal could do for us. Under compliance, you'll see that we have policies. And basically all that information in your infrastructure and your Microsoft 365, whether or not they have MFA turned on, whether the computers have enough memory, whether encryption's enabled, whether they have dual monitors, all these various things that we typically recommend for computers kind of get summarized up into here. And you'll notice there's different colors. If there's green, that means there's we've seen no issues on your system relevant to these. Yellow means relatively minor things, and if you click on it, you'll see over here, oh, we got a monitor count. Okay, we've got some computers that don't have dual monitors. And that may or may not be okay. We can exclude computers from this as well if we want. It's really just for your reference. These are computers that are below what we would consider best practice for memory, how much memory they need to have. Again, nothing necessarily to lose sleep over, but just some guidance on, hey, maybe there's some things we could do. Same with compliance here, encrypted hard drives. Again, if we click on these, it's going to show us which computers they have. So it's kind of broken out into various different things here. And this is nice reference material for you and for us when we meet to discuss your needs about what we might want to be doing differently on your systems. Any of these computers that are in here, we can also roll these up into what we call planner items, and we'll get to that in a minute. And those are basically our recommendations for what you should do with your systems. So these policies are really important. There's a report section here. Most of you won't have anything in it, but if you were getting some kind of monthly report from some software or something like that that you wanted to keep track of, there's an email address, and we can have them populate in here for you if you wanted to. Training, the same thing we mentioned earlier, those training classes. If you assign those to your users, under training you'll see who's done what, or if they've been taking the training the way they're supposed to. I don't have anything in there at the moment, so there's nothing to see there. So the policy thing, very important here. And then the next big thing we have is under our account menu. We have maybe the most important thing in this whole system, and that's our planner and recommendations. And I wish this wasn't under the account menu. I wish it was more up here, but unfortunately we don't have control over that. But this is a really important one. This is where all of our recommendations for your customer and our planning we can do for you are all going to show up here under the planner and recommendations. And you can see it takes a second there because it's got to build this out from different areas. And you can see this is kind of broken into the columns. The first column is these are things that we recommend you to do. These are kind of the planner section here. Okay, so if we want to do upgrade to Microsoft 365 Premium, we're going to do that in Q4. We want to do another business review maybe in Q1 of next year. So we can kind of plan out when these things are going to happen. Over on the right-hand column here, you can see the things that have already been installed and already been implemented. And basically what this is, anytime that some of these are automatic. We recommend everybody have security awareness training. We recommend everybody have managed backup. So if you don't have those things, they're going to show up in here unless we move them over to installed. But there's also going to be other things if our technicians see something, or if we're working on your system and we see something that we think should be changed, or something we want to recommend to you to do differently, we'll create a planner item in here and discuss it with you. So you can come in here at any time and see all of the recommendations that we have right now for your company on what you should be doing with your IT. So this is really an important place to come, because this is really gives you some guidance on where you're going and things that you should be considering for your IT needs. And really, we'd love to have these VCIO. We call this Virtual Chief Information Officer. That's kind of what this whole process is. Us acting as your Chief Information Officer and giving you advice on what you should and shouldn't be doing. And it's really good to have these business reviews at least a couple times a year, maybe even quarterly, so we're all on the same page. But at any time you can come in here and see this, and you pretty much have this permanent business review that's always active and live right here. So these planner and recommendation items are really important. If you click on these, you'll actually see some more information about them. Give you some detail about what it is and why it's important. So again, the planner recommendation stuff, really important. Additionally, in here, there's some reports you can run. I don't have any reports right now that we can run, but if we ran any reports out of the system, they would show up in here. You can see all of your invoices in here as well. And this is looking at our account. We don't invoice ourselves. They wouldn't be here, but you'll see a list of all your invoices and whether or not they're paid. And if you have an account on our paying, if the username that you're logged in with here has an account in our payment portal, you can click the payment portal and go right there and pay these as well from here. And then finally in here we have our dashboards, and these are just some summarized information, kind of pulling from everywhere in the system and giving us some information about in graphs and that sort of thing about your system. And you can see it takes a second to load because it's got to pull a lot of information from different areas, but it's just kind of a quick check to see various things. These are some of the things that roll up into those policies we talked about earlier. So again, really the really important stuff in here, of course, the planner recommendations under the account menu, all of the ability to report a problem or request service under the support menu, and then just basically all the rest of this supporting either training or Microsoft information, that sort of thing. There's a lot of information to be gotten in here, and we're hoping it's useful for you. It makes hopefully a little better planning and making sure we're all on the same page, and hopefully for your users a little more streamlined experience in submitting tickets. So we did this through the web browser here by going to portal.wti.cc. We can also load an app on your desktop, and you can see this little red WTI down here. If you click on that, it will open up a desktop app, and this is where, frankly, for most of your users probably come in here mostly, and you can see it's exactly the same thing as the web browser. The difference is this: they didn't have to actually go into a web browser and open it up. This is an app that's running on their system, and your users can report problems from right here, just like they would. And the nice thing in here too, you can, when you do these, you can add screenshots and screen captures and that sort of thing. So just another quick and easy way for your users to be able to access this data, and for you to be able to access it. And again, remember that your users will only see the first 4 menu items here. Only administrators will see the rest of this stuff. So that's the quick overview of the client portal. We hope it's useful for you. We hope that it makes things more streamlined for getting your tickets resolved quickly, and hopefully for making sure that we're up to speed on planning and recommendations and making the right decisions for your business's IT needs. Of course, give us a call if you have any questions, and that's all I have for now. Thank you very much.